Welcome to the Nintendo Dads, episode 413, recorded on February 9th, 2023. On tonight's episode, we talk about, well, it's a Nintendo News Spectacular, and we have new games, we have old games, we have numbers, and we have what's-its galore. Jesse, you know what to do.
Hey, what's up, folks? It's Marty here, coming to you from an undisclosed location, and it's episode 413 of the Nintendo Dads. It is February 9th, 2023, and we are hot on the heels of one of Nintendo's best directs ever, except for a few stupid things that they did, because
there's always a few stupid things. Always.
When do we ever, any of us ever, like 100% knock it out of the park?
I don't know, but they came close.
They came really close. Oh my gosh. Joining me on the show tonight, Mr. Jesse Waldack and Tim. How you doing, guys?
I'm doing good. A little tired. Long day at work today, but nothing. That's kind of.
It's been a long week. Can I confess? It's been a long week at work.
Yeah.
I had a project due in school this week that turned into a 16-page paper, but your boy got 100 on it. So
yes,
congratulations!
Yeah. I mean,
awesome.
I'm crushing it today. Not tomorrow's another story. Tim, what about you? How you doing?
Metroid Prime Remastered.
I'm really surprised that you're on the show tonight. I'm just to be honest.
Right.
I'm really surprised you're on the show. Although I saw earlier a tweet from someone who has already beaten this game 100% completion.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I was like,
I don't doubt that.
Are you kidding me? Did you sleep last night?
Probably not.
Good Lord.
No, that's
probably not.
That's the
Did
step
you
above
sleep
me,
last
I think.
night, though? Did you sleep?
I did. That's what I'm saying. That's a step above me in regards to fandom for this game. That's, they win. They can have it. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I mean,
still. At that point, if you're like, hey, I'm just, this game just dropped and I'm not going to sleep, eat or pee until it's done on stream. I'm out. I'm
right.
done. Well, guys, we've got a ton to cover tonight. I know we usually kind of go around the horn here, but I mean, I don't want to have to cut down on anything because it is such a big blockbuster week. Not only are we going to talk about Nintendo's Direct, but we're also going to talk about financial numbers that were released this week, as well as game news and all kinds of other stuff. And so let's just go straight into it, shall we? And our news each and every week is brought to us by you guys over at patreon.com/Nintendo Dads, where for as little as $1 a month, you get to join in the greatest community on the internet and be a part of our Discord for $1, the full expanded slate of Discord channels for $5. You get to pre and post show audio for $10 patrons and an art card, quarterly, and then $30 gets you on the show. And all of you who are Patreon producers, you should have received a link to schedule your appearance on the show. And so be looking for that. Jacqueline was already on a couple of weeks ago and killed it, did a great job. She's a freaking Power Ranger. It's amazing. And so you can be like her, you can be on the show, and you can be over there in Monthly Mayhem and Dad Chat and the breakfast table and the dinner table and all of that just by signing up over at patreon.com/Nintendo Dads. And we've had a slew of new patrons lately, and I don't have that page pulled up, but Tim is going to do a trick for you while I do pull that page up. Tim, help us out here. A little something.
All right, you guys ready?
Yeah,
all right.
We're
so
ready.
For those who are watching, I'm going to use my magic little hand and make that belt disappear. Look at that. The belt disappeared right behind me. It's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone. I don't know where the belt is. I can't send it to Justin now. So it's gone.
Yeah.
It's
So
fun,
you can there you go. Huge thanks to Stan Kaminsky, new patron of the show. Good friend of the show, Robbie Bobby Miller, coming in as a new patron over the last few weeks, at least that I'm finding here. Daniel Crummett coming in as a new patron. I just want to make sure we're getting everybody. The Sean, Jacqueline Amira, you guys have been amazing, and you are the best. Literally, when I say that, you're the best. And look, if you're a patron of the show and you're not checking your email each and every week, mostly, we publish a Nintendo Dads weekly update that's full of things like topics that we're going to potentially talk about on the show, as well as links to all of our YouTube content that was posted during that week, a game release schedule, news about our other shows and where to find them, and a place for you to leave comments, exclusive comments and questions that are just for patrons there.
I wanted to mention to you real
weekly.
quick about the summary of the YouTube content in that message. Notice you didn't include any of the live streams.
Yeah, I didn't. I typically don't put any of the live streams on there. I'm sorry.
Well, we normally don't have any, but this week we had like 4 different live
yeah,
streams.
so if you go to our YouTube channel and check, there's live reactions. Jesse did a good job clipping out some of our reactions to moments during the direct and things like that. What's that? Oh, Tim did that. Okay. Well, and Jesse's been live streaming some too. That's kind of what I was referring to.
Yes.
We've had a lot of live streaming going on lately. So go over there.
We've been doing a lot around the horn.
I'll talk later about what I played and what I streamed.
Okay. Good deal. Well, guys, let's dive straight into the news. I think the biggest news item that we could talk about this week, of course, is the roughly 40 minutes of Nintendo Direct that we got yesterday. That would have been February 8th of 2023, which Tim reminded us as we were heading into the live reaction of that, was exactly 1 year and 1 day from February's or the 2022 Direct that happened during February. It actually happened on the 9th last year, so they're hitting around the same time. Interestingly enough, we watched a little bit of that, and Advance Wars was being shown off in 2022 for an April release, and it's how appropriate that it's back in an April release. Guys, just quick around the horn here. Initial impressions, and let's do this. Let's just give a grade, like on a grading scale here. What you think this Direct fell for you? Where did it fall on the grading scale and your initial impressions?
I'm giving it an S. It's got an S grade for me.
Well, I mean, all they had to do was show a picture of Samus for that to happen.
I was fine. They gave me Samus. They gave me Metroid Prime Remastered.
Metroid Fusion's coming to Game Boy.
And the Game Boy games, Game Boy Advance games. It's an S.
Okay.
All the way.
Okay. Well, and your any other initial impressions other than that? Like, I mean, all you mentioned is Metroid. It's like that they had you there.
I thought that's all it was. I only saw Metroid. What do you guys? Was there something else there?
It was a Metroid Direct.
It was a Metroid Direct, right? So no, there are other third-party games that I'm looking forward to, like Ghost Trick and all that. Like Ghost Trick, because it was on the DS. Jesse reminded me it was the DS, not the 3DS. But yeah, it was one that I actually missed out on. Was very interested in playing, but never could find it. And when I was ready to play it, and then so happy that it's here.
Back before the days of I can't find it physically, so I'll just download it.
Right. Yep. Back before that was
which is what happened to me with The Last of Us Part 1.
Yeah.
Yes. I couldn't find it anywhere, so I just finally just downloaded it. But you know what? Yes. You know what? I won in the end. You know why? Because I had an $85 voucher at Best Buy.
Oh, there you go.
So, yeah, thanks, Best Buy, for The Last of Us Part 1.
For them not having it in stock?
What?
For them not having it in stock? Or
well, no, I mean, like, I guess I could have used it, in store, but I wouldn't have checked online. Like, I wouldn't have opened my account. and been looking.
That was a collection of rewards that you had over the years.
No, I had
time.
it was one reward certificate from buying a computer earlier this year.
There you go. There you go.
So, Jesse, what about you? Initial thoughts and a grade for this direct?
Yeah, I think this is it's probably one of the best. It definitely is one of the best, if not maybe the best directs I've seen. You know, there are others that are up there too, but it's hard to pick which one's the best one. But you know, not everything was a banger. But so I'm going to give it probably an A-.
Okay, I think it's a fair grade, and I was actually going to give it A- to a B+. And I think that score is not based on what was shown, but on what was not shown. And so maybe I played myself, as they say.
Yeah. Well, that's not a Nintendo problem. That's a you problem.
Well, no, but Jesse, I do think here's where I think it's a Nintendo problem. And we talked about this ahead of the show. And here's where I'm going to mention it. And this is why. There was zero Mario movie promotion or footage. You have a major motion picture hitting theaters in less than 2 months. Actually,
it's only the beginning of February.
It doesn't matter. How long did Star Wars promote the new trilogy? A long time ahead of 2 months.
They're promoting, and they're going to have a Super Bowl thing too.
Yeah,
I was expecting them to have
a Super Bowl what?
The Super Bowl trailer or something like that.
I mean, I don't watch the Super Bowl.
Well, after that drops there, there are people who do.
I understand
millions and millions of people who do.
Why not do something for the audience that brought you to that point?
Because the audience is already going to be there to watch it. You got to get the other people there to watch it.
Okay. Look, I'm going to agree to disagree with you on it. I just think it was a major misstep for them not to have a single word, image, trailer, hint, anything about Mario movie or a new Mario game. Like the fact that Nintendo does not have a brand new Mario game in the hopper waiting to ride the wave of cash that's going to be flowing out of that movie is ludicrous to me. And Mario Kart 8 Deluxe tracks aren't it, Chief. They're not. It's like I told Justin earlier. It's like if I ran Nintendo, this is the one thing, because this direct was pretty dang good. But the one thing I would have had in the hopper was, we're working on a new Mario game. Why can't they just say that? Like, hey, we're working on a new Mario game, and we'll show you more around the time that the movie debuts in theaters. Do that, and guess what? You've just lit a fire, right? You've just done something there. Unless they just don't have a Mario game in the hopper. But
that's also possible.
It's also possible, but really isn't. It's been 5 years since a brand new Mario game. And admittedly, I'm a Mario fan.
That's because there's something else going on.
I will always be like, Mario will be the main Nintendo franchise for me, but I want to know what's going on.
Kind of looks back to something I said last week, where, you know, the reason why, you know, if there's a slowdown from Nintendo output in 2023, is because they're preparing for its successor in 2020.
Yeah, we've all mentioned that. We all mentioned that. So that's the possibility.
I think that you're exactly right. I mean, and that could be is like the next Mario game is going to debut with Switch 2 or whatever. But I just like y'all. But we said this when Sonic 2 came out in theaters. Wouldn't it be great if there was a new Sonic game to play? Because, hey, this movie's actually not bad. It's actually pretty good. And people are like, Sonic's popular again. Where are the games? They weren't there. That, like, in a world like,
you know, like, okay, away.
Here's the thing. Ant-Man Quantumania is coming out, right? In like a few weeks.
Next week.
Right. If I go to the movie and I love Ant-Man, guess what I can do? I can go buy brand new Ant-Man comics. I can go buy a new Marvel comic But what if I go to the Mario movie and I've never played a Mario game before, and all of a sudden it's like, man, which I get, this is a pretty extreme thing. Or go to the Sonic movie and it's like, I've never played these games before, and then I really would love to play a game that's where is it?
Then you got a whole slew of games to pick from if you've never played a Mario game before.
But where are they?
You
where
go
are
to
they? Are they on shelves?
Yeah,
you go to the eShop. Okay. Well, if
you go to your smartphone and get the Super Mario Land or whatever that is, the Mario Run.
No. But
no, that
or you go to Mario the game store and you go buy a Nintendo console, and then there's a Super Mario Odyssey there, or Mario Maker, or some other Mario game that has his name on it.
I am fully prepared to admit that this may just be a Marty issue. I'm making a mountain out of a molehill. I just want a new Mario game. Okay.
Yes.
It's been too long.
I want a Mario game too. I agree with that.
And I just think that they're missing an obvious cash cow. Like, I think it's money on the table.
I think what you just said, though, is two different things. You, Marty, want a new Mario game because it's been a while. But you're also conflicted because you're saying that they should have done this, but you're actually saying they should have released a new Mario game with the Mario movie because I want a new Mario game. So
or maybe
there's a ton of Mario game. Remember what the headline was, or one of the articles we read before too on previous shows, is that one of the other movies, game movies or something, saw a bump, or the show Last of Us, right, has a bump in the games. People went to buy an older game because of the show. It wasn't a new game. It was an older game. They went back. If they didn't play it, they went back to play Last of Us Part 1, Part 2, whatever. So you did the same thing. You went back and got one. They didn't make a new one. You went back and got an old one you didn't play.
But technically, they did make a new one. Because if you think
it was
about
before.
This was the second time that Last of Us has been remastered. And they wanted the best face of The Last of Us facing forward, because they knew the show was going to kill it, and they wanted people to go out and play the best version of The Last of Us.
Well, the best version available for the newer consoles too.
Where's the remastered Mario?
You still have Odyssey, so people can go back and play Odyssey.
You can go back and play
if they didn't play it before.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I don't know that Mario Odyssey is the best front-facing Mario game for people who are seeing the Mario movie, because it's a totally different animal.
They don't know that. You know that because you played all the Mario games. If somebody's going to watch the Mario movie, there's going to be all of us who played all the Mario movies are going to go watch the movie, regardless of whether there's a game or not. We want another game. That's us as a fan. Anybody who's going to see Mario because they hadn't played Mario games in years and go see the movie, and then they're like reinvigorated to go play Mario games again, they're going to have a slew of games to be able to get their hands on the Switch. And that is Mario Odyssey. And then if they join NSO, they'll be able to play some of the old Mario games that they probably grew up with. They have access to Mario, just not the new Mario that us people who've played all the Marios want now. Which I agree with you, Marty, on. We need a new Mario. It's been long enough. Where is it? And I would have thought it too, that it would have been out around the same time as the movie.
not just a new Mario, but a brand new 2D Mario. Because the last time we got a brand new 2D Mario was when? Do you know when it was?
DS, probably.
I believe it was launch day Wii U.
Okay.
It was New Super Mario Brothers Wii U. Super Mario Brothers U.
Yeah,
so that was it. And then there was the Luigi package that came out later.
You're not counting Mario Maker.
I don't count Mario Maker as a brand new Mario game. Well, I mean, it is a Mario game, but it's not an official like Nintendo made point A to point B Mario game.
It's not the traditional Mario point A to point B game.
Well, yeah, it still had like 100 levels packed in or so, didn't it?
They do, but. Okay. I mean, it's such a weird Nintendo era when there's been more brand new Splatoon games than there's been Mario games. there's more brand new Zelda games and there's been Mario games. I don't know, guys. I'm just
I agree with you, Marty. I wanted a Mario game too.
If you were wanting to give me an emotion, like what is Marty? Marty is disappointed. I was disappointed we didn't see Mario.
Well, between that and I'm sure people who wanted a Donkey Kong game too were disappointed.
I want a Donkey Kong game.
Yeah.
I would just like to see Nintendo make a competent platforming game that's not Kirby. Not that Kirby's bad. It's just that, like, where are the platformers, man? Where is, if you like that type of gameplay, where is it?
That's what it makes me think there's something up Nintendo's sleeve. Because
maybe there is.
We're not seeing what we want. So there's something up their sleeve.
I also believe that now that this Direct is out of the way, the full power of Nintendo's operational battle station of PR is going to turn to Mario movie and Tears of the Kingdom. Nothing else matters.
Also with the scattering of everything that was announced here, there'll be some promotions.
And that's a great segue to get me away from ranting. I appreciate it. I want you guys to go down this list because Jesse did a fantastic job compiling everything that happened during this Direct. By the way, during this Direct, Nintendo sent out an email afterwards that over 46 games, or maybe it was over 43 or 46. I can't remember. It was in the 40s were revealed during this Direct. So if you think about that, it was roughly a game a minute that was revealed. I would love to know here in a first pass, what were your top 5 high moments? Like, yes, I love this. Top 5 high moments.
All right. Do you have top 5 already?
I do. And if mine coincide with yours, I'm just going to say, oh, that was one of mine too. And I'll just talk about the ones that.
I was going to say, you go ahead and go with your 5.
Okay, cool. Okay. So number 1, I think the number 1 high for me had to be the Game Boy and Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games coming to Nintendo.
I'm with Switch. You on that for number 2 for me.
The very fact that they're like some of the games in here are impossible. It blew my mind to see these games. Like, this is actually on a Nintendo system. This is actually in an online offering. I love the fact that Game Boy games by themselves were available for just Nintendo Switch Online. Folks, that you didn't have to be part of the expansion pack to get that. You have to do that for Game Boy Advance games. But guys, did you ever think that we would be playing the original Game Boy Tetris on a modern system in 2023? I did not. I thought it was going to be tied up in legal red tape forever, right? Gargoyle's Quest is part of this. Alone in the Dark, A New Nightmare, which someone reminded us. I want to hit this really quick. This was this is from Third Strongest Mole. He commented on that and said, so Alone in the Dark being on NSO might actually be a huge deal. It's the only first-party game on the lineup so far, or only non-first-party game on the lineup so far, and that's precisely the type of game that's going to fall into licensing hell. The original publisher Infogrames merged with Atari, and the rights were bought by THQ Nordic in 2018. This means there is now precedent to expect NSO Game Boy games owned by the Embracer Group, which is a huge catalog.
Right.
Alone in the Dark is crazy to come out of there, but I would argue with that point that Gargoyle's Quest is actually a Capcom game. So we got 2 non-first party games. Although I do believe it was published by Nintendo, there is a Capcom logo on that box.
That goes with some of the other Capcom games that were on there too.
Yeah, if you go that route, Minish Cap was Capcom developed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The other games are also the Oracle Ages and Oracle Seasons as well.
Right. Yeah, and those are coming.
Yeah, they're not out yet.
Yeah, those are coming.
Those are coming.
I wanted to discuss this as we're in this pocket for just a minute because here's a few things that stuck out to me about these 2 releases. Number 1, these games have filters that allow you to play Game Boy, which is like the original pea soup green color, type thing. Then there's Game Boy Pocket, which cleans it up. What were you going
Yeah.
to say, Jesse?
I was going to say, yeah, that green background looks gross on a 55-inch screen.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It looks like baby vomit or something else.
Or 65. I don't remember how big my TV is.
There's also, you can switch to Game Boy Color, but you can also add in a mode where every little, or like across the thing, is squares, like it's pixels. And that is fantastic. Such a cool little touch.
Yeah, for the Game Boy games, I have Game Boy Color with the pixel outlines.
Me too.
And I tried the pixel outlines in the GBA. Doesn't look as good. I shut that off.
No, it kind of looks fuzzy. But if you think back to the original, that's exactly how it looked on that old Game Boy Advance screen. I wanted to talk about this game, Kururin. This was not an American release.
Yeah, I didn't realize that at the time, but yeah, that was a game that's never been in North America before.
It's actually not bad. Have you tried it?
I had not tried it.
Okay, so the game is you are like a rotating bar that you have to move through this maze to save people. There's a story to it. It's weird. But like it's a puzzle game where you have to use timing to fit down certain hallways to squeeze in under the timer, or you can also use parts of the stage like there's a spring that you can cause the bar to hit and cause it to rotate in an opposite direction so that you can fit down a pathway. I was watching my son play it last night. It's actually not bad, but guys, we're getting Metroid Fusion. We're getting Fire Emblem, the Blazing Blade. We're getting F-Zero Maximum Velocity, Golden Sun. We're getting Pokemon trading card game. Tim already mentioned Legend of Zelda Oracle of Ages and Seasons. And honestly, the possibilities are endless. Like, I want to ask you,
is there one you're
Jesse,
hoping for?
Well, I was going to ask Jesse this. Do you think we're going to get Pokemon games?
That's also a question Mecha Dragon had.
Yeah. Well, before I answer that, I want to quickly go back to Kurin. But it was initially released in North America as a Wii U Virtual Console game.
Okay.
Mecha asked about it. I just looked it up, and that was the case. For Pokemon, no, I don't think so. Why? Because the game itself would have to be modified to support netcode changes. They did that for 3DS Virtual Console because each game has its own version of the emulator, so they could do it at that level. But the emulator here isn't at that type of level. In fact, actually, maybe now that I think about it, like NES, Super Nintendo, and N64, the multiplayers are basically controllers 2, 3, and 4 in the host's console. But for Game Boy and Game Boy Advance, multiplayer would be link cable. So maybe that would work. But you're limited to link cable.
I was just thinking, I wasn't thinking about the online part. I was thinking about just like actually having them available.
Without having
people
trading,
want to have them available, but without the trading, I guess it might gut it.
Without trading and head-to-head battles, I don't think is really a point.
Yeah, absolutely. So these are out right now. You can go download them. I'll talk more about them later on, or maybe not, since I've gushed about them so much. But it's just so good to finally have these. One of the things that I think was so cool about this is the realization that we are. Because Metroid 2 is one of the Game Boy games that's available, we are super close to all Metroid games being available on the Nintendo Switch, which is what I said I wanted when Metroid Dread came out.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to be able to go back and play through all of these in some form. We'll probably never have the DS, the 3DS version of Samus Returns, but we have this. And all of them have rewind capabilities and all that fun stuff.
And I hope we get Zero Mission. That wasn't the game they announced.
Oh, well, I think we will.
Yeah. Because Zero Mission is a much better game than the NES original.
Yes, for sure.
I think we will. And Tim, you asked if there was one that I wanted. I think it's glaringly absent that Super Mario Land was not on here.
Yeah.
The very first one. I mean, 6 Golden Coins is a way better game, but all those people like John Blanco, I think, responded. Chris actually asked about this. Chris HL.
Yeah.
Why is Super Mario Land 2 for Game Boy on NSO, but not the original? Are they taking a page of the original Sonic the Hedgehog on Sega Genesis, which is still not there, by the way? John from Dad's After Dark blasphemed and said, because the first one stinks. And I say to you, sir, go find a corner and put your nose in it.
Right.
Because that is absolutely not true. He says unless they're going to do, he says he thinks they'll come eventually, unless they're going to do one game a month again. Who knows?
So I have a 2-part answer for what I'd like to see added in the future.
Okay.
Donkey Kong.
Yes.
With a Super Game Boy filter.
Oh, I think that's coming. I think Ebucel asked that. Do you think we will get SNES Super Game Boy on NSO?
Because I don't think any of these games really support Super Game Boy filter or Super Game Boy. Donkey Kong definitely does. Pokemon kind of do. They give you little borders if they'll give us Pokemon. Yeah, well,
I do think that we'll see that eventually because I think Donkey Kong is too big a release for the Game Boy to skip. It's kind of like Smash Brothers on the Nintendo 64. It's coming eventually. We just don't know when, right? So let me talk about.
Real quick, I would want Drill Dozer. I would hope Drill Dozer would come.
Yeah, that would be great. Other highs for this: Metroid Prime Remastered, gigantic high there, especially after I played it. Man, I can't. I'll talk more about it later. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass getting a brand new track based on Yoshi's Island with that art style, and Birdo as a brand new or a returning character. Nintendo confirming today that more returning characters are coming in future DLC wave packs. That's fantastic. I am so stoked.
Yes.
It gives me hope that we're going to see Rob as a returning racer.
Yes. And I got a question too, actually, just to go back a couple steps back to the Game Boy side. There were a couple other comments. Were you going to come back to those or?
No, I didn't see them. Go ahead.
Okay. So we got one from Russ G in the email. He says, I'm so happy these will all be available on I'm so happy these will be available on Virtual Console, but given the huge popularity of items like the Mayo Mini, has Nintendo missed an opportunity by not offering a classic console for this? I know I'd pay for both. I'm not even sure what the Mayo Mini is. Do you know what that is,
I didn't know
Jesse?
what it was either. I did look it up. It's basically like it looks like a mini Game Boy. It probably I don't know what it plays.
You can load ROMs on it.
There's like 50,000 different variations of it.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the thing. I think Nintendo has seen the results of other classic consoles in recent history, like the Sega Genesis and the TurboGrafx, like getting put on clearance. And I don't know that they're willing to make hardware right now.
So there was a difference.
They were crap, but here's another thing. I think the superconductor thing is part of it too.
That's true.
You've got so few parts to go around. So what are you going to use it for? Your primary system or some little passion project on the side?
Right.
This is a great way to have these.
We also have to remember classic consoles were created at the same time Switch was created because they were unsure what the Switch was going to do.
Right. And I also want to say this, and I don't want to be mean, but I've put my classic consoles up. I don't play them anymore because most of the games
nice
I want
on the shelf. They look
They do.
nice.
They do look nice on the shelf, but most of the games I want are now available on NSO.
Yeah.
There's a few that aren't, and that's a whole nother story.
Right. And maybe they'll eventually make their way there. So
yeah. I'll get this next one too here. Koopa Kid 80. David said, with the release of Game Boy and Game Boy Advance on NSO, do you think Nintendo will finally come up with a standard scheduled release or release schedule for games all across all the apps? Although I'm glad they're adding more value to the early subscription, the sporadic at best release of 1 or 2 games every couple of months of a random NES, SNES games I find to be a little frustrating, given the amazing catalogs of all the legacy systems. JDP Cart 18 responded and said, answer to that is yes and no. Yes, they will have a regular release schedule. No, as Nintendo will release games when they see fit to do so.
Yeah,
it's so frustrating when they do that.
It's going to be pseudo random. We'll get a tweet at 8:00 on a Thursday, like we always have.
Right as we start to record, right?
Yep.
Breaking news. In fact, I even went and looked tonight as I sat down. I was like, I wonder if
I'm sure there's some business case as to why it makes sense for them to do it that way, but I haven't figured out why can't they just say, here's our catalog. Have fun.
I think it's because they want to keep you coming back, and they know that if they don't space it out, guess what? We're going to get all these Game Boy games, and guess what we're going to do? Nintendo never does anything for Nintendo Switch Online. They don't do anything for us. Well, if they leak out 1 or 2 games a month, over the next year, then at least they're doing something for us. They got something. We So there you go. That's my thought. I think it'll fall into a groove of maybe once a month or every other month we'll get something, but I think you're never going to know when it's going to be. You're going to start seeing rumors like, GoldenEye. It may come out.
You'll never know which
month.
System they're releasing a game for now.
Nope. I'm still waiting on Sonic the Hedgehog. But anyway, Metroid Prime Remastered was probably my second biggest thing. Advance Wars 1 and 2 finally getting a release date that I hope sticks is number 3. Dead Cells Return to Castlevania DLC getting a release date of March 6th. That was pretty big too. And it's only $9.99. You can pre-order it right now. And then I'll have to say probably, I said the Mario Kart 8 DLC too, but Tears of the Kingdom, the finishing off with that and reiterating the release date, seeing the amiibo, all of that was just phenomenal. What's not phenomenal, we'll loop back to here in a few minutes, but yeah.
Yep.
What about you guys?
That's a
Top
great
5
list.
things.
Mine is number 1 is Metroid Prime Remastered.
Of course.
I think everybody probably guessed that to be my number 1. I'm excited about, I played it, did a, first or let's play on our channel. We got a video of that, and you could see me just starting the video. I was losing my mind then. So it looks fantastic. We'll talk about it later too, because of what we've been playing. But yeah, that was unexpected considering how long we've been expecting it. So
right. It's been rumored for like 2 years.
Right. I mean,
I think it's been done for 2 years.
Well, I want to say we were the first ones to talk about it because I brought it up when there was that article about the person who worked at Retro saying there's no way we can do the trilogy ever again. And you guys were asking me, you guys were like saying like, "Oh, we're sorry, Tim, you're gonna be disappointed at this bad news." And I was like, "No, I'm not," because they're probably just remastering the first one. And now it's when we first talked about it before anybody else. So we beat them all. But anyways, yes. Anyways, Metroid Prime Remastered is my number 1. And then number 2 is the Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Color stuff on the NSO. Along with getting the date for Sea of Stars. I guess that would be my number 3. Number 4 would be not for me necessarily. Or actually, I'll say Ghost Trick is my number 4 because I missed out on that one when it was on the DS, so I'm excited about that one. And then number 5 is my excitement for everybody else who got something out of this that they wanted, like the remasters for the Bat and Kaitos games.
Bat and Kaitos.
Yes, and then or the 3-pack of the
Etrian Odyssey.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. So I think, and then there are all kinds of other games too, and there's a few others new games, not remakes or anything like that I'm excited for, like Deca Police and got the date for the Rain Code. Those things I'm excited for too. So don't get me wrong, I'm not just about all the old stuff. I like being able to have access to the old stuff. Like John likes to say and tease everybody who wants this stuff, you're going to touch it once and probably never go back to it again. That might be the case, but I'm excited to have it there and have the option. So, especially for Metroid Prime, those are the things I'm excited about. How about you, Jesse?
Okay, so mine aren't in any particular order, but I'll just kind of touch the things that hasn't been mentioned yet that I wanted to talk about. Professor Layton, yes, thank you.
Yeah, you were excited about that one.
Can I tell you that today, like my wife looked at me and she was like, "Why did you not tell me that Nintendo announced a new Professor Layton game?" And I was like,
"You're in trouble now."
Because I said, I didn't say this, but my thought was because I didn't think you'd care. Because she's not like a huge video gamer, and she's like, "I'm so excited." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm about to lose my Switch when that comes out."
The Pikmin 4 release date in July announced. I did want to talk a little bit more about the Metroid Odyssey. I think it'll be available physically and as a bundle digitally for $80 for the 3 games. But if you buy, you can buy the games individually in the shop at $40 each. So definitely, it's like buy 2 get 1 free if you get the bundle.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, let's see, was there anything else that jumped out? Oh, that baseball game that you kind of joked out yesterday when you saw it, 99 cents.
Yeah, I saw that today. What is up with the 99-cent price tags? Price tag for that? Like, what? Why is it 99 cents?
I don't know, but I was surprised to see because when I did the notes for everyone else who can't see my notes, for every game that has a price, I put it in the notes. For every game that's pre-order available or available now, I put it in the notes. For every game that's voucher eligible, I put it in the notes so we can bring it up if we wanted to. And yeah, 99 cents, and I laughed at that. Nintendo plugged a 99-cent game.
Because they got paid to.
Now that you mentioned this, Jesse, that all these details you put in here, you should probably put this list in our Discord, just so people can.
They would like that, I think.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Okay.
That way it doesn't, not just for our eyes, but the community can see it and see what kind of stuff,
Anything
an outline
else,
of the show.
Was that your 5, Jesse? I'm sorry, I wasn't counting.
Oh, I didn't give 5 because things other things I was going to mention was already mentioned, so I didn't bring it up again.
So let's do
pretty
this
much
then.
Everything. And then I am interested in Batten Kaitos. It's an RPG, but it's like a card battler. So
yeah,
and I've never played the originals, so that'll be new. Those will be new to me.
So let's do this now. What were the low points for you in this direct? Do you want me to start this time too?
Go for it.
I think the Splatoon 3 DLC is stupid. This is the dumbest horse armor crap that I have seen in a long time for a game. We were talking about this pre-show.
Wait a minute. What is horse armor crap?
Okay, so do you remember when I think it was Oblivion? Came out.
It was pretty much the first microtransaction.
The very first piece of DLC, microtransaction, you could buy armor for your horse in Oblivion, and it did nothing other than put armor on your horse in the game.
Wasn't it like $15 or?
Oh yeah, it was just stupid. It was stupid expensive even for that time.
Yeah, it was not 99 cents. It was like $15.
It was literally the equivalent of buying a check mark for your name in Twitter. Mm-hmm. Except in Oblivion. And y'all so when I say this, hear me when I say this, that's exactly what wave 1 of this expansion pass is. It is literally, you can go to Inkopolis and it be a different lobby for your game. And during Splatfest, you can go hear the Squid Sisters sing. The items are the same. The shops are different, but the same, like it's just the different shopkeepers. That's literally all it is. And then Side Order's coming out later, and it's a side game or new quest. But this is $25.
Is it a side quest? Did they say it was a side quest?
Well, it's called Side Order.
Right.
So I don't know if it's. I guess it's it's like I call it a side quest, I guess, because it's kind of like the first one from Splatoon 2. It's a side story.
Right.
I guess it all ties together.
So that for me, it wasn't all clear what was going on there either. So
yeah, and here's the deal. I know that Splatoon has lore, I guess.
But it does.
Guys, really, we gotta. I think we need to be careful to call a spade when we see it. This is not a great implementation of DLC. When I say, oh, it's stupid, well, that's me like exaggerating talking about it. But let's call a spade a spade. This is not the greatest DLC that they could have had. I mean, there could have been some, hey, you get to go to Inkopolis and you can buy some exclusive items. Or, hey, there's some exclusive amiibo tap-ins you can get, or whatever.
Yeah.
Just having a skin that lays over the top of what's already in the game is not a good look. I think this will be eventually be available, like on the NSO expansion pass? Yes, because they've set the precedent with 2. But I thought this was an extremely low point. It was like when they announced it was like, why am I supposed to be excited about this?
Yeah.
I get it. Some people really like those characters, but it's not like you get to do anything with them. They're just there to look at. It doesn't buff your game. It doesn't do anything. So what's the point of doling out money for it because it says this is spring 2023 when the Syncopolis thing comes out, right? Side Order comes out future. So why not wait until that's out and you get everything, or it's free on NSO, which is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought that was pretty low point.
I agree with you on that one.
I also think that Pikmin 4 is not the game to start a direct with. Like when it showed space at the beginning, I was like, oh, we're getting Star Fox, or something like that. And then I saw the ship across the screen. I was like, it's just Pikmin. And here's the thing. I will say this. The game looks good. I'm not a Pikmin fan by any stretch of the imagination. But I'm just, and the reason I'm not a Pikmin fan, can I pull my truth card for just a second? I suck at it. I'm not good at it.
Okay.
I don't, it's too much for going on for me at once. I can't handle it. So
Sean Capri says, how dare you? Pikmin was the perfect game to start.
No, it was not, Sean. But hey, what can we expect from someone whose national pastime is sticking a spout in a tree and watching maple syrup pour out? So, anyway. Also, I thought I'm just going through the list here. Where was it? Maybe that's it. Maybe that was it. Oh no, I'm going to talk about this. Charging $10 more for Tears of the Kingdom simply because it's Tears of the Kingdom is a really creepy, slimy corporate move. I don't like it. I think it's and for them to come back today and make a statement and say, oh, wait. Not all Nintendo games going forward will be $70. There'll be others.
Was that a statement or an interview question?
I was just reading the headline from My Nintendo News that
I thought it was an interview. Someone asked them that question. Why is it the $70? And they said why.
Nintendo responded to GameStop saying that the new Zelda game is $70 because, quote, we determine the suggested retail price for any Nintendo product on a case-by-case basis. Can I ask if anybody else's BS detector is going off? because they've never done that before. And they say, when asked if this will be the trend going forward, they said that it won't be. And this is the quote: "We determine the suggested retail price for any Nintendo product on a case by case basis." So let
if
me
that was in
interpret.
away or NCL, did it say?
Let me just check.
Because while
Since
you're
we're
looking,
here,
I'll
it just
continue with
said
my thought.
Nintendo. This is originally from Game Informer. Okay. So
so it's probably NOA.
yeah. So let me say this. Let me interpret this for the non-corporate legalese. All right. Here's what it is. Tears of the Kingdom is going to be $70 because we know you're going to pay whatever price we ask for it. Ha ha ha.
Yep.
And I just think it's kind of slimy. I think it's kind of, it's not very consumer friendly, and to me that doesn't feel very Nintendo.
Yeah,
I thought
NOA,
this is a big L.
Yeah, NOA in the past has generally priced their games similarly with market conditions. $50 games up until the Wii U started $60 games, which were still in, with the exception of one. Next, don't be surprised if we see $70 games starting with a successor, because
I think that's. I was prepared for that. For the when we got the next one, because PS5
PlayStation and Xbox have us prepared for that.
But here's the thing: if you're going to charge me $70 for a game, give me games that run at $70 worth of power.
Right.
And I know I've already stirred a hornet's nest there, because Nintendo's games look the best. I mean, they run and everything's they run great. That's fine. But I just, here's my suggestion to every single person who wants this game is go buy a voucher and get it for the cheaper price, because I really don't think this one-time $10 price hike just because it's Zelda and it's highly anticipated is the move. I don't know. It feels weird to me. Yeah, Tim.
All right, so it's where I disagree again.
Okay, come on.
Sorry. So $70 is yes. Was it a shock to see that this game towards the end of the Switch's life coming in at $70? Yes, it was a shock. It was, bad timing. I agree with, but being Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom and how much content, based on the amount of content we got in Breath of the Wild, I would have paid $70 for that game, Breath of the Wild, if it came out at $70. But it didn't. This one's coming out at $70, not knowing everything that's in it and all. But based on the previous game, I think it's worth 70, and I probably would have paid 80 for it if they would have asked for 80. But I also would have liked to have known. I want to know more about it. I'm basing it on what Breath of the Wild was. I do want to know more of what am I getting in that $70,
2-minute trailers is not $70 worthy, right?
No. What I'm saying is I'm not basing my decision on the $70 pre-order. I'm basing my decision on how much time I spent 5 years playing Breath of the Wild. Right? So
that's your fault.
It is, but it doesn't matter how long it took me to get there. It's still, I'm still having fun with the game. I still want to go back and play it. I think it's worth $70. And like I said, if they came out and said, we're going to charge 80, then I probably still would have pre-ordered it, because I can always cancel it. But I still want to know what is in the game that makes you think that it should be 80 rather than the 60 that all the other Nintendo games have been up to this point.
Yeah, I've been half joking that we have 300 hours of Persona now on Switch, but my, Breath of the Wild, I spent half of that. Literally, I put 150 hours into that game. So even if I put half that time in Tears of the Kingdom, I'd say $70. I'm getting my money's worth.
And hear me when I say, I don't think that it's not worth that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not what I'm saying.
I'm not upset about the 70. I'm a little surprised, yeah. But I understand some people will have sticker shock with it.
I also I guess what I'm saying is if that is, what are we saying to people? What are we saying to the people who worked on the game? Oh, your game's worth $70. Your game's worth 50. You get what I'm saying? Like Justin kind of made a comment in the pre-show, Nintendo's given a 10% increase in pay to its employees, and they've got to fund it some way. Some of these teams have got to be pulling in the revenue. Why not just go ahead and make all of your first party games $70?
Yeah,
I mean, that's what Xbox has done.
That whole 10% salary thing, that's completely independent, I think, of any game. That my understanding is the business in Japan right now is the businesses are putting up pay raises just to try to keep their people. And they don't.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's related to a game at all.
Some companies have given a 40% bump.
My point is that it comes at a weird time. It's halfway through 2023, pretty much when it's happening. You've already had pretty high profile releases that people are putting significant hours into, like Fire Emblem. It's just it's really weird.
Yeah, because
Tim,
I agree with that. The surprise,
it's bad timing.
It's bad timing for sure. Because it also, when you do look at, like you just mentioned, Fire Emblem, why wasn't that $70? Why wasn't Xenoblade Chronicles 3 $70?
And that's a huge game.
That's a huge game made by the same team helping you to make Zelda, this Zelda game. So
that's why I feel
like a
lot
of questions.
And this is the conspiracy theory side of Marty that never really comes out. But I think it's just because they know that this game is going to sell.
Sorry, I'm laughing because we have a business Justin and then we got a conspiracy Marty now.
That's fine. If you want to
going back to what I was trying to say earlier. Yeah, I think this is an NOA decision. They traditionally have gone with the fixed pricing, but in Japan, they've never had fixed pricing. The games have always been all over the place. Like they've had 7,500 yen games and 5,500 yen games that were both $60 here. So and
the UK is still the same price too, right? If I remember correctly, their pricing is
UK's been generally fixed. Like they take our price and let's change it to euros or pounds depending on the region. But but Japan has generally been all over the place. And Abyssal reminded me in the chat that look back at the Super Nintendo. There was no fixed price for Super Nintendo games. Final Fantasy VI was $80 in 1996, which adjusted for inflation is $150 today.
I mean,
Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom is £59.99. £59.99.
I will say about the old school SNES games and stuff like that. Like, I wasn't old enough to know how much those games cost back then. Like, I wasn't looking at that. I was just saying, "Hey, please buy me this," to my parents. And so, I mean, I'm sure I do remember games coming out. I do remember back in the day that virtual racing on the Sega Genesis, when it came out, like it was either for the 32X or for whatever, was $99.99, and the people were like, "What the heck?" It's because it was like 3 tracks, like
talk about 3DO prices here.
Yeah, I mean, and because I guess it was the technology or whatever. I guess the sticker shock for me is like, yeah, it's we know what they can do with it, but what much more can they do with Breath of the Wild? It was already gorgeous. It was already expansive. It was already, and yeah, we talked a few weeks ago about, that they had patented this new technology for rendering clouds or whatever. Like, is that worth $10? Is that like?
Yeah, I think they're lacking the transparency thing again, where they're not being transparent, and it does the way that you told it. It sounds shady. Just like, we case by case basis. And it's like,
yeah.
Okay.
And think about this. I will throw this out here. And I went back and looked at this because Jesse put the download size for the digital version of Tears of the Kingdom in our notes. It's 18.2 gigabytes, which is huge. When you think about Nintendo's compression technology that they use on a lot of their first party games, right? That they can get these incredibly small file sizes for games. Going back and looking at Breath of the Wild, it was 13.4 gigabytes. So this is literally almost 5 gigabytes more of a game, right? So there's significant stuff here. I'm just like you. I'm like, what is it that's making, like, what is it about this game that makes you say, this is the one? This is the one where we're gonna see. Like another conspiracy theory that I have is that this is a test case. This is a test case to see if people will buy it, and then they'll go, "Oh yeah, well they're all $69.99 from now."
Yeah.
Which, okay, let's be honest, that's not $10 more. And if you don't buy a lot of games, every couple of months or every few months, $10 more for a game is not a big deal, right? But in an economy where people are already strapped in certain ways, I don't know that it was the right time to make the move.
Right.
Am I canceling my Tears of the Kingdom pre-order? No. Am I going to go pick it or boycott it? No. Am I going to? No.
Well, just like you said, be smart. If you're going to get a digital copy of it, then you might as well buy the vouchers, and you got half of it used.
The best savings on this game right now is a voucher, because it will allow you to use it as if it is a $59.99 game.
Yep.
So it will take the $10 off, and I will personally attest that I bought 2 vouchers earlier today, or the voucher package, and used it on Advance Wars and this, and it saved me $34 off sticker price. So the vouchers, if you don't have those games and you're sincerely thinking about getting those games, totally worth it. And you can use them right now, and pre-order it, and it's day one locked in. It'll download it the week before, and then day of it'll check, and boom, there you go. But if you're a physical collector, and I even checked, this collector's edition for this is $129.99. That is a $30 increase from the collector's edition of Breath of the Wild, and you get less. So I'm just throwing that out there.
More for less.
I mentioned this in pre-show, but I don't think Tim was on yet, so he doesn't know. I went to try to redeem my final voucher on the Japanese eShop for Tears of the Kingdom, and I said I couldn't do it because the game comes out in May, and my voucher expires in April.
Oh no! Oh no! That sucks.
So I was thinking about. I think there's enough here that I was thinking about buying 2 sets of vouchers anyway. So I might buy one set in Japan and one set in North America. I just have to find something that releases before April or is already out to spend that last voucher on. So I might end up going with Kirby, even though it's a game I wasn't interested in. But just so
it's actually pretty good. You should check the demo out before and I'll talk about it a little bit.
I'd just rather get something versus nothing.
Right. Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm sorry, guys. What were your low points? Any other things that you thought were low points of this direct?
Mine was Fantasy Life I know some people love the game and great for them, but I tried the original Fantasy Life and I didn't care for it.
I agree with the low points and what Marty was saying too. So I'm on the same.
Infrendo says the fashion game.
Oh,
that's game of the year right there. What are you talking about?
Yeah. 2023 game of the year, Fashion Dream.
Fun fact: when I was adding the new games to the release calendar, I didn't add that one.
That's okay.
Why? That's game of the year.
I mean, yeah, guys. I mean, that's going to be up for the Game Awards at the end of the year.
If I had a 7-year-old daughter, maybe, but I'm way past that.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even think my 7-year-old daughter, even though she's older now, when she was 7, I don't think she would have liked that game.
That's when we were watching it. I'm like, the Nintendo version did the fashion stuff, right? On the 3DS, they had their fashion ones. They looked a lot more fun than this one does.
Like you're thinking of style saving games, right?
Yes, yeah.
And there's usually been one of those a year, or every other year, and that are featured in directs as well. But this one, I agree, didn't quite.
It was like you just run around, you say hi to people, and you're like, "Hey, I like your outfit," and then you collect that outfit, and then you can do selfies and stuff. So of what the outfit you're wearing, or
So it's literally Instagram the game.
Maybe.
and it's maybe that'll appeal to somebody. Maybe somebody who's watching can tell us why that appeals.
Yeah,
And
if that
it is
game is
because
for
we don't
you,
have daughters that will like that,
we
or
would love to
kids
know
that will
why.
like that at that time.
Here, going back real quick to about values of games. The chat was talking about the cost of Neo Geo cartridges and whatnot. Someone mentioned that in television games before the crash was like $40, and then someone asked, "How much do Amico games cost?" And my answer was worthless.
Oh my.
But last thing
well-
though, too, I wanted to mention, it's not a down point, but one thing that I do want to mention is that how awesome was it, if you didn't notice, how awesome was it if you did, the Nintendo Direct eShop feature banner for that was on the eShop. When you went into your console and you went to the eShop, there was a banner that you could click on for the Direct, and it had all the games that were there, and then you just find them all there. I thought that was really cool.
That. Of course, I didn't enter the North American eShop. I only attempted to enter the Japanese one. Which,
well, I will tell you guys that I want to go back to the 99-cent Power Pros baseball game. This is currently a topic of discussion in our Discord.
Is it?
Where 2 or 3 people are talking about how much they love it, and how it's the 3-inning games make it go by really fast. And this is actually this Power Pros has actually been out before it came out on the Wii in 2008. So really? We've seen this series before, and y'all, look, most of y'all, if you haven't figured this out yet, have gold coins sitting. If you've bought digital games,
yes,
and you could probably just use gold coins and get this for free. And that way, if you hate it, you can just there you go.
Can you see the banner?
That banner is awesome, and they've been doing more things like that. And Tim, I wanted to mention this. I didn't know if we talked about this or not. But a subtle change that Nintendo has made to the eShop over the last few weeks. When you go in, I went in to search for games with demos, and the search results now show up in 2 columns instead of just a single column.
Oh, no, I didn't notice that.
So it makes it a little more convenient.
There's actually there's also a demo card or banner in that same featured area.
Nice.
There's a demo banner that you can go and click on that.
Yep. Let's mention this. 3 demos dropped during at least 3 that I know of that were dropped during this Direct, were the Octopath Traveler 2 demo, the Sea of Stars demo, and the Kirby Return to Dreamland demo, which is fantastic. Now I don't have to talk about it in what I've been playing. It's free. You should go try it. It's Kirby. It's fantastic. Let's hit a couple of questions here from the community about the overall Direct, or comments. To RJ Kern, who's one of our Patreon producers, he said this: I'd love the dad's take on this article. A strong Nintendo Direct also showed why the end is in sight for the Switch. With the Switch's future uncertain, Nintendo is looking to the past. Here's a couple of quotes. In a sign of the Nintendo Switch's increasingly advanced age, many of the announcements were more about looking back than looking forward. And Nintendo fulfilled many long-held rumors and dreams with the first Direct of 2023. After today, there won't be many left. More than ever, the end is in sight. He said, while I agree the hardware is 6 years old, if Nintendo's strategy is to bolster its lineup from the past, I'm very okay with it. What do you guys say?
Obviously, I'm okay with it. I got Prime. As long as I get Prime and then 2 and 3.
And it kind of lines up with what we've been saying. We think is next year we're going to see a successor. So yeah.
Yep.
So, I think it's a lot easier right now to make remakes while you work on a brand new game for a brand new console. And that's why we're seeing a lot of that. But also too, because y'all, people have asked for remakes of everything. And what's funny is it's like we ask for the remake. Oh, we want a remake of this. We want a remake of this. Then we get it and we're like, oh, it's dead. Nintendo's doomed. Which, I mean, what did I just say a minute ago?
I just hope I have
they're
access.
Charging $70 for Breath of the Wild. Nintendo's doomed.
So I'm going to do a conspiracy Marty thing too, or I don't know if it's a conspiracy Marty thing, but I'm concerned, right? We lost access to the Virtual Console when they switched over to the Switch. No pun
Here we
intended.
go. Here we go. I knew this was probably coming.
I am scared of losing all these wonderful things we're getting on the Switch.
Because it's called Nintendo Switch Online. Right? Right?
Yes.
Now here's the deal. Here's the deal, Tim. Let's talk real baseball here. Not Power Pro baseball. Let's talk real baseball. I don't think you have anything to worry about. Here's why. Because I don't think Nintendo can ever make anything else than a Switch from here on out.
Unless they come up with some sort of holodeck.
Mobile app type of thing.
The
I think
Nintendo holodeck.
The future is hybrid. The future is mobile and home together. We've seen that, right? I mean,
look what Nintendo did with the Switch. Look what kind of things we have now out in the market because of that. Do you think we'd have a Steam Deck?
We didn't have a Steam Deck. Well, we have Apple Arcade,
or any of those other
where you can play, where you can connect a controller to your Apple TV and play a game that you then pick up and play on your iPad later. No, we have Google Stadia, or Luna or whatever. Will we have any of that? No, because we have Game Pass mobile, where you're like it's going to be in TVs. No,
play it on your phone.
Nintendo changed the game. Yeah. Absolutely.
So there's a little bit of fear there, obviously, of hopefully they go the 3DS route or the DS family, 3DS family of systems to where everything is still backwards compatible, and then you're still getting the next thing to be able to play. I'm with you though, Tim. I get it. Like, I put a significant amount of money into Virtual Console. It was very disappointing that didn't come through. Yep. I would love to see that continue. Like, let's have a continuous you've got this, here it is. And I think that they figured out what that model is, right? It's tying it to, you have to keep paying for this online thing if you want to have access to these games. Yeah. That's what keeps us from buying them again and again and again and again and again, but also giving us access to them. I just hope that they continue to increase its value, because if we get to the next system and we start over and it's just 20 NES games again, I will scream. Yeah. I will scream.
So this hasn't come up yet, but going back to GBA games, what do we think Mother 3 will be coming?
Yes.
Finally.
Yes.
My thoughts are
because
go ahead.
Nintendo has recently promoted Mother or Earthbound on its own, like with stuff that you can get. And there are, I don't know. We can't, it keeps.
Oh, is that notebook?
Yes, the Earthbound Beginnings notebook.
Okay.
I don't know who it's from, but yesterday my son showed me this email, and it said Earthbound, the official Earthbound, the Chosen 4 plushies available soon.
Yes,
so they're leaning more into this series.
Yeah.
I think that could be seeds of Mother 3 is coming, especially now that GBA is there. They can just port it over. It would be very easy to go to those guys who did that Mother 3 fan dub or whatever years ago, fan translation that they actually got on a cart, which I also own, and just say, hey guys, here's a dump truck full of money. It's about a month of our earnings or whatever. Here you go. Can we have that, please? And if that was me, I would say, yes, sir, please. Please, can I have some more? And then I would let them have Mother 3 and everything would be fantastic. Right. I do think that there's a very distinct possibility this can happen now. To follow up this article from IGN, Third Strongest Mold made a comment along this, and I think that it speaks well to this. He said, Nintendo blows everyone's minds by releasing old software, and the takeaway here is that they need new hardware. He's kind of got a point. Hoots from our Discord also chimed in with this. He said, I'm interested to see all the positive reactions from this direct. Yes, there were some decent reveals, but they were largely on games or DLC we already knew about or just ports or remasters. After the direct, there were no new items added to my personal wish list, just updates to their release dates. More than ever, It made me feel like Nintendo is milking us for all we're worth, with Splatoon's first wave of DLC being a big offender. Obviously, it still takes work to port older titles and to create new cosmetics, but do you guys think that Nintendo is getting a little too confident in its consumers' loyalty? I'm going to refer back to what Jesse said. I don't think it's confidence in loyalty. I think it's something's coming. It's we're on the back burner here, folks.
Yep. Something's coming. There's something
Yep.
going on. We can't see what we want. We're not privy to until they're ready.
Yep. Well, speaking of that, let's talk about Nintendo Switch financial numbers. Shall we? Because, guys, it's pretty dang good. Nintendo's latest numbers have been released. And here are just some highlights as we kind of flash through this. Switch sold 11.47 million units from October 1st through December 31st worldwide, which is now brings the total Switch sales to 122.55 million units sold, and EA still won't support it. Is now the third best-selling console of all time, which has outsold the PlayStation 4 at 117.2 million, and the original Game Boy at 118.69 million. I think they were just waiting to drop Game Boy games on the Switch until they outsold it. Systems that have sold more are now only two remain. Like I'm picturing that meme where Nintendo Switch is death and it's going door to door killing people. Well, it's only got two doors left, folks, and here they are: Nintendo DS at 154.02 million, and PlayStation 2 just a little higher at 155 million units. Now, you may say, well, I don't think it can do that. Well, the sales forecast for the fiscal year is 18 million units. And guys, let's be honest. Tears of the Kingdom has a pretty good shot at doing that, right? Especially if they drop a new Tears of the Kingdom OLED, which we've seen leaked.
Well, yeah, the 18 million units is the number ending in the end of March. So we don't even know what their 2024
so that would be 18 million this year. So, okay, right. So the prediction originally for this fiscal year was 21 million units. They lowered that to 19 million, and then now it's been lowered again to 18 million. So
far, in the first 9 months, they've sold almost 15 million. So they think they'll sell 3 million in this last quarter.
Interestingly enough, 51.6% of that is OLED, which is up 92.5% from last year. 35% were the Mark II Switch, which is down over half from last year, and 13.4% is Lite, which is down about 37% from last year. Software forecasts have also been lowered from 210 million units to 205 million units, which is not huge, but then you realize it's 5 million units. But total Switch software sales, wow, this is crazy to me. Total Switch software sales are now at 994.30 million units. We are just shy of 1 billion units of Nintendo Switch software sold, which, y'all, I think that'll happen before Tears of the Kingdom even comes out. Don't you?
Right. And that beats all of the system software. All of them. Any of them.
So it's the best selling software of any system of all time.
Yeah, we had 921 million software. DS had 948 million software. So the Switch is the best selling in terms of software.
Yeah.
Of all of Nintendo's systems.
Yeah. Top 10 game sales, really no surprises here. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is still sitting top of the mountain at 52 million units sold, which when you think about it is mind-blowing. It's a little under half when it comes to attachment rate for the actual console sales. 3.59 million units of that was sold in the last 3 months. When you combine that with the Wii U sales, Mario Kart 8 has now outsold Super Mario Brothers, which includes all platforms, virtual console sales, and is now the 6th best-selling game of all time, which Mario is sitting at. And so if you don't want to do that crazy math, Mario's still there, but I mean, it's Mario Kart 8. It really is. Close, but not close enough. Animal Crossing is now is still at 2, just under 42 million units sold at 41.59. Super Smash Brothers at 30.44 million units. Breath of the Wild at 29 million units. The one I want to talk about here that I think is super surprising, and this is highlighted here, is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet was only tracked for 6 weeks and sold 20.61 million units, which makes it the fastest selling Nintendo published game of all time. Like it, y'all, when you think about the fact that 42 first party games from Nintendo are million sellers and that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet jumped to 7 in 6 weeks is an incredible feat for a game that honestly people have not been very nice to. Right?
Yep.
Right. I do think it's interesting too that right here at the end of our top 10, number 10, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, to break into the top 10 of sales now for Nintendo Switch, you have to sell more than 15.07 million units. So if you're going to be in the top 10, you got to sell 15 million plus.
The thing that surprised me the most here is Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl last quarter was 8th.
Mm-hmm.
It is now 11th. It got passed by 3 different games.
Yeah.
And lost its top 10 status.
And really your other top 10 are the usual offenders here. Sword and Shield, which Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is going to beat handily. Mario Odyssey, Super Mario Party, Ring Fit Adventure are there. Down at the, I mean, we'll post this list in our Discord as well for those of you who guys are wanting to see this. But even like I said, 42 first party games. Number 42 is Bayonetta 3, and it sold 1 million before the end of the year. So guys, no wonder Nintendo Switch has sold tons and tons. And this is before the end of their financial year. So we're going to see more numbers. They're going to be even better. I think that by the time we get to at least E3 time, in which Nintendo's not doing E3 anyway, so it's not really a big deal. But by the end of summer, Nintendo Switch will either be very close to or have beaten the Game Boy, I think, because of Tears of the Kingdom. You don't think so?
What do you mean by that? Because
it's 25 million, but I think they can do it.
Maybe I didn't understand what you said, because the Switch is
They're
already
sitting at
outsold
120. They're sitting at 122 million.
Yeah,
Game Boy's at 154 million, or DS. I'm sorry,
okay.
DS.
All right.
I think they'll be approaching that.
Now I understand.
Maybe not passing it by the end of the year. Well, summer's probably a little too soon, but by the end of the year, I think they'll be approaching number 2 console of all time.
It'll be close.
My question to you is this: is at this point, do we think that it's going to dethrone PlayStation 2?
Yes.
I think it depends on when that successor comes out. If it's early 24, maybe not. If it's later 24, maybe. If it's 25, probably. We don't know yet. Here's what I hope we don't see with whatever successor does come down the pike. Is I hope that we will see Nintendo not hang on to Switch as long as they hung on to 3DS. Or the Wii. Yeah, it was, there at the end, it was like, guys, there's no games coming out for this. What are you doing? Let it go. Just take it to the cave like Old Yeller and let her just lay it down. But anyway, I thought it was just cool to look through those phenomenal sales numbers. I think it is interesting to note, though, that the last 2 weeks, PlayStation 5 has outsold Switch. Globally, I think were those numbers, or at least here in the United States. So PlayStation 5 is catching up with Steam. I think they're more available now, so that's helping. The Last of Us is also helping. But Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are still selling ridiculous. They're still like number 1 selling hardware.
You know what I think will help sell 25 million Switches? you bring out the colors like you had on the Game Boys and on the N64s.
Talking about
You
the
bring out
crystal
the
Joy-Cons?
you bring out those colors for the whole Switch, not just Joy-Cons.
Atomic purple.
Yes.
Atomic purple Switch, spice orange Switch.
Do the array of colors, and
Or
those would sell.
Tim, do a system homage to like a series, like we'll do the NES, the
That too.
SNES, the Nintendo 64, the GameCube. Yeah,
Like
John
my
Blanco
3DS is
will
SNES model.
have to get a new job if he does. We have to get a second job if we do that.
Right.
Let's talk real quick here too. I think this kind of fits in with this financial thing because you look throughout the rest of the year. We've got some games upcoming that are first party games that are going to drive some sales as well. Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe is out on the 24th of this month, just in a couple weeks. Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon is March 17th. Tears of the Kingdom, May 12th. Pikmin 4 is in July, right?
Yeah, it's July.
And I missed this one too. Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp, I think, is April 12th or 21st. I can't remember. Scroll back up here.
Didn't have the dates down here because at the time these were before the direct.
And Metroid Prime 4 is still out there, supposedly coming to Switch. So it's no shortage of game releases coming, and that's not counting third parties as well. A couple other little news items here. New Super Mario Brothers movie posters have been released this week featuring the cast and Luigi. The Luigi one is super cool if you haven't seen it.
Does that imply that Luigi is not in the cast?
Well, I don't know why. The Luigi one is him being kidnapped by Shy Guys and Sniffets, which I think are the first look that we've seen of Shy Guys and Sniffets in the movie. So those are out there. If you are a super fan like me of this, it's time to start asking your local movie theaters if they're going to have any posters laying around afterwards.
Right.
Our local little one-screen movie theater is opening the Super Mario Brothers movie the day it releases, and you can bet I'm asking for posters.
Right.
We'll see what I get. Also this week, a judge dismissed the Joy-Con drift lawsuit, claiming that it was not a valid lawsuit due to the fact that users agreed to Nintendo's end-user license agreement when they started using the Switch. So no money for you. And let's see here. Knockout City is closing up.
Are no joke.
Knockout City is closing up. It's another free-to-play game that I think that is just kind of like a sign the bubble's beginning to burst there. It's the new Rock Band. It's the new Skylanders, which is fine because my take on this is I think it's really starting to die because I deleted Fortnite off my Switch.
Yep.
Yeah, we were playing anymore.
Yeah, we talked about this briefly because of all of these things. Rumbleverse, like you noted here, Knockout City, and others are having a hard time competing with Fortnite. And then you even deleted Fortnite, I think.
Well, I just think like I was getting to where it was causing me to not enjoy playing video games because I was constantly thinking about, I got to get this level. I can't enjoy this game because
it was a chore. It became a chore for you.
It became a chore, and that's why I deleted it. And I feel very free. Also announced this week some new game releases here. Jackbox Party Pack 10 will be coming out in fall 2023, as if anyone is surprised. Also, February 20th through the 26th of this month, a brand new game trial will happen. It will be Katamari Damacy Reroll. So you can check that out. And I thought this was cool. Pixel Lines 2 Into the Puzzleverse is coming out February 22nd, and that's going to be $14.99. It's also going to have $2 puzzle packs as DLC coming out along with that. So that's our game news and stuff this week. Let's pause right here for just a minute from an ad from our sponsor, Manscaped.
All right. So you guys have heard us read the breaking news about Manscaped doing their beard products now. They've sent us some kits. Marty, have you had a chance to test any of that stuff out yet?
Is it not obvious? I got my beard trimmer and the Pro Kit, which was amazing, by the way.
Yes.
And I went to use it to trim myself up. There's 10 settings on that beard trimmer. They start at 0.5 and they go up to 10. Not realizing it, I set mine to 3. I don't know why. I said, "Oh, this is 3 inches."
I thought it went to 20.
Maybe
I think it's 20 settings, but it goes to 10 with half marks, I think.
Oh, yes, okay. That's it. That's it.
So here, got the half I got mine. So I set mine to nice 3. Case, by the way.
I set mine to 3, and in my mind, that equaled 3 inches. And guess what? It didn't.
No.
So
yeah, 3 is what I use to trim my mustache.
I'm currently in the regrowing facial hair phase, which is nice.
So it's nice. Too good.
It did its job. It did a great job. It didn't snag. It didn't pull. It was a buttery smooth trim, and it was so life changing that when I went into the other room and saw my nephew, he screamed and cried because he didn't know who I was.
So life changing.
Yeah, it was. Look, and that is not a throw with Manscaped under the bus. I'm just saying the product works. It's fantastic. Yes. It's super quality.
It's a nice.
I am applying the balms and lotion, the creams and lotions. I'm applying all of those in hopes that it makes the hair grow back faster. Nice. And they smell good.
Yep. Here's the beard shampoo.
A very nice look. Can I be honest with you?
Beard conditioner.
I've had facial hair since since around like halfway through college, which is a long time ago, like 2001-ish. And I've not found like beard care products that are as good a quality as what Manscaped has created. So
fantastic.
I give it a resounding 2 thumbs up.
Fantastic. That's fantastic. That is what I like to hear. I just charged mine up. I just got these in the mail because I didn't get the Pro Kit like you guys, and apparently Justin got, with his full facial hair thing.
Don't set it on 3, Tim.
So, but yeah, I got it all charged up. I did order the shampoo and the conditioner, so I'm looking forward to trying those things out.
And all the
creams and lotions. Yes. So I am looking forward to trying that stuff out and being very careful not to select 3 because this will then all be all gone. Apparently,
you got to start it at least. You need to start on 10.
I'm starting at 10 because I need to learn what those numbers mean for my beard.
Yeah, if you start at 3, you're going to end up like me and look like a potato working a robot body with controls, just sitting up there on big potato on a set of shoulders.
So. If anybody out there is interested in trying out this stuff themselves or getting any of the products that Manscaped has, again, remember we have our code NINDADS where you can get 20% off and free shipping and try out some of these products yourselves. They have smaller bottles of some of this stuff too, so you don't have to get a full-size bottle. We all love their shampoos and body washes because I have those here too because I just got those too, but my son uses them too, so I'm on the monthly plan to get, the shampoo and body wash consistently at home.
Me too. So it saves you some money.
Yes,
I'm probably
and the code works with that too.
I'm probably going to do it in the future, but I still have I have a set of large bottles in my shower still. My son has a set of large bottles in his shower, and I think I still have an extra bottle somewhere lying around. So I got a lot of bottles lying around. I don't need to buy more yet.
Yeah, I got quite a few myself. And you're right, Marty. The 20% off works. Our code works for the monthly subscription, or the hygiene plan that they have. So, again, they have all kinds of products, and including this new beard stuff, such as the hedger that I just was showing off, but the actual trimmer. They also have the beard shampoo and conditioner. They have beard oil. They have beard balm. Lots of things that work for your for your beard. So I'm learning to see which ones work best for mine. Right now, I got the shampoo and the conditioner because it will help, at least that part. And then I'm looking forward to trying out the potentially the oil and the balm. The balm is supposed to help kind of shape your beard, especially if it gets longer. So something to keep in mind if you're doing that. And plus, if you get the Pro Beard Kit, you get 3 free gifts, which is a comb, a brush, and scissors. So you can do basically the brushes to help keep the hair, the beard combed down and helps for trimming. And then the comb helps for also trimming with the scissors to help guard.
Yeah, and let me tell you, that comb is a wooden comb.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
wasn't
especially
expecting
for
a wooden comb.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
very,
it helps
very
with thicker
good
beards,
quality. The brush is like a nice little handheld brush, so you can kind of go over things,
Yes.
smooth it down. Every bit of it, A+, chef's kiss.
So again, use NINDADS, NINDADS to get 20% off and free shipping from Manscaped. And that is it. Jesse? All right, so we have our events coming up, which is we just had our breakfast table, which happens every second Wednesday of the month. Marty, you were able to come in for a little bit, and we had a couple others who were able to come in, especially from the UK side, because they obviously when we do the dinner table, it's later at night.
It's their lunchtime.
So it's there, just after lunch. It was 2:00 for
lunch
Shiv
table.
UK, who stopped by and hung out with us. And then so we also have our dinner table, speaking of which, every third Friday of the month, which is coming up next Friday, February 17th at 10 p.m. Eastern time. Again, both those times we are like the breakfast table. We were talking about how excited we were about the upcoming direct, and the dinner table, we're going to be probably talking about how excited we are about the direct and what we've been playing. And most of the time we end off talking about Marvel movies and Star Wars movies and all kinds of stuff. So we bring up all kinds of topics during the dinner table and the breakfast table. And my wife says she says it's probably good therapy for everybody. So it's a good place to come in and chit chat with everybody. And it's not recorded because of those things, in case you want to share something personal with everybody on there. We felt like it was better not to record it for those purposes. So, but I can always turn on the record button and always do a clip if everybody wants me to. So just to tease a dinner table to get more people involved. But we have a lot of fun there. We also have lots of stories about Mecha Dragon and his escapades out there of going to all the different conferences he goes to. So come join in on either the second Wednesday of every month or the third Friday of every month for one of those tables. And in order to do that, you have to be a Patreon or a Twitch subscriber and join on our Discord calls on either of those days and times to join in on the fun. And that's it for events. Let's move on to what we've been playing. Marty, you owe us games, man. You weren't on last week, so what's up?
Yeah, so I've just been playing The Last of Us, man. It's really about all I've been able to get any game time in for. Just been extremely busy. February has turned into a month where like literally every weekend I'm somewhere. So that's cut down on game time. My daughter is in a ballet production of Snow White, and it's next month. So we're inching closer to that and having to take her for things. And so no excuses, but just playing through The Last of Us, man. Playing what I can every night until I either get frustrated because I can't make it past a place, or I'm scared and I feel like I'm going to wet myself. Just being honest. So The Last of Us Part 1 is it's good. It's good. I avoided it for as long as I could. I don't mean I tried to avoid it. It's just that like the idea of fungus zombies scares the poo-poo out of me. And so I I feel like it's like one of those things that could really happen. So
Especially in a Mario game.
yeah, and so I guess technically it is a mature rated Mario game if you really want to think about it that way.
Yep.
And so now I want to play, but I can't because I'm on. The other wrinkle to that is that I can only play it when my wife is present because she was the reason we started watching the show. And then I said, I want to play the game. Do you want to watch and like help me? And she said, sure. So I only play it when she's around.
So she's
Okay.
invested in the story.
She is invested. So, and we're going to finish it up and play 2 immediately. Even though I already know when it kind of happens. But anyway, the other thing that I'm playing that I also have to wait on my wife to play because she is a Harry Potter super fan. She used to read the books through once every year. But I'm playing Hogwarts Legacy. I got it early because we bought the digital deluxe edition because why not? Switching had some in-game items and stuff that was different.
Nice.
But y'all, it's the truth. It's legit. It's such a fun game. If you love that universe or you love any of those characters, I really think you owe it to yourself to play the game. And I know there's controversy around it, but I just play games, man. Just play games. It's fun. It's fun. The combat is satisfying. The characterization is spot on. You get to create your own Harry Potter character, like name, looks, robes, hair, all that. So you're in the universe. I mean, it's not like a robust, like when I think of like, it's not, I'm going to put it on a scale between Pokemon character creator or Fallout 4 character creator. It's kind of in the middle. Okay. Like you're not
right.
you're not editing like your character's magical cheekbones or anything like that, you know. But you're also not just naming them and saying boy or girl and getting 5 different designs. You can make it kind of look. Unfortunately, it's very there's no fat people. So I could not make myself. I made something that looks like myself if I had never discovered Twinkies and Coke. So
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah, it's super fun. I'm about an hour into it. So I just did like the first classes. I love the fact that like part of the quest is like you going to classes and learning things. And like, so it's a very immersive in the world. And I just made it to Hogsmeade for the first time, which is like one of the very first quests. And I stopped last night because we were getting sleepy. But my wife's invested in that, and I just love it when she sits and plays video games with me. So I'm not going to waste that.
Of course,
it's a very serendipitous moment. But I also spent an hour in Metroid Prime Remastered last night, which completely changed my opinion of this game. I hate Metroid Prime, but I love Metroid Prime Remastered.
Now the question is, do you think you would change my mind?
So good. Here's the deal. I don't know, Jesse. Here's why. This is what changed my mind. Is maybe it's time since I've played it because I've played and beat the original Metroid Prime. So maybe it's time, but it just feels so fluid. The default control scheme now is twin stick. So left to move, right to look around, and it just feels right. It feels natural. You don't have to tweak it like you do GoldenEye to make it playable. But if you're out there and you're listening, you're like, whoa, I don't like that. There's 3 other control styles that you can use. There's the original, which you can use a Joy-Con like a Wii pointer. There's a hybrid, which I believe is gyro aiming. And then there's classic. So it's...
which is GameCube.
Yeah. This is way more than just a remake. Okay. Like there's love put into this.
Yep.
And I'm having a blast. It's super good.
Real conversation, Marty, is when you finish this game, and hopefully you do.
Oh, I will. I played through the first one. I want to play through the whole thing.
If what I'm saying is when you finish this one, because it's so much better than the original for you, is going back to the conversation of Metroid Prime Remastered. Is it the better Metroid experience, or is the 2D Metroid the better
2D
experience.
will always be better, but but 2D. Let me say this, and here's my official opinion on it. This is my last word: is that 2D to me will always be better, but this has made 3D where I want to play it.
Okay.
Okay, like whereas before I was not excited at all about Metroid Prime 4, now I'm stoked. Like if it's anything like this at all,
right,
then and I know that I need the remasters of 2 and 3. Like it needs to come.
Yes,
they need to just go ahead and put it on the calendar, put it out there later this year.
It's coming
just
out.
Crank them on out.
Here and here, yeah.
I'll pay $40 for them. All fine. And then 2 more games. Actually, I've already talked about Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games. Kirby Return to Dreamland demo is out right now, and you need to go play it. It's great. It's fantastic. So much fun. And it looks incredible. If you have an OLED, play it handheld. That's all I'm going to say. Play it handheld. Like play it on your screen too, but just try it on OLED. Try it. It just looks really good. So that's what I've been playing.
And apparently the GameCube controller, if you have that adapter to connect it to the Switch, works for Metroid Prime Remastered, and the controls are
awesome.
Identical. I think
That's
Game
cool.
awesome. Put out a video testing that out.
Yep. Go ahead, Jesse.
Okay, so I did give GoldenEye 007 a try. I used the N64 controller using the default control scheme, and yeah, I hated it. And I could not control a thing worth a damn. I might give the Xbox version a try since it's got modern controls to see if that helps at all.
Wait, which control? You use the N64 controller, you said? Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Don't do that yet. Let me shoot you an image that will tell you how to make it modern controls on the Switch.
I don't want to do all that mess. I've seen that image.
Well, just try it. I mean, you can switch your controller profile when you're done.
Yeah, I didn't want to do that either, Jesse. I agree with you. I'll put it this way. I don't think we should have to do that. There should be a setting to automatically do that for us.
Yeah. Or
because I'm lazy, but
or detect the controller.
Yeah, there you go.
Use this setting. Just yeah. But so I played the first level, the dam, did the bungee jump thing off the top.
Mm-hmm.
Got the win. Don't know. I don't know if there was any hidden objectives that I missed because I was playing on the easy mode, so they don't show the extra objectives. But I played a level of a first-person shooter and hated it.
Yeah, that's what I didn't like either when I first tried it with the N64 controller. It was not a good experience, but I love it now that I can play it in handheld with modern controls. Yes, with doing a little work, but it was worth it, I think. So,
all right. So I definitely won't go back to it on the Switch version again. I might try the Xbox version to see if that plays better, but that's a low priority for me.
It will.
Okay. Yesterday and this afternoon, I played a little bit of the Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap. Now that's on NSO with plus expansion pass. Or expansion pack. So I didn't get far yet. I just got to the point where I got into the Minish village and they told me, oh, go to these 4 locations and do the thing. As Zelda games do.
Right.
So I'm liking it so far. And I don't see it. Yeah. Persona 5 Royal. So this is the next 3 games is like 5 hours of exposition here. So Persona 5 Royal, I beat the final boss, got the royal ending, and between after I beat it, there was a little bit of a cutscene and it says, "Do you want to save your game now?" I said yes. After that, an hour and a half cutscene plays before I get the final. If you save this now, you will not be able to go back into your game. Saving it here will let you start a new game plus. So I said, okay, yeah.
Whoa. An hour and a half long cutscene.
Yeah. It
was a movie. Wow. You got to watch the Persona 5 movie.
Well, it wasn't
Persona 5 Royale movie.
It wasn't all a hands off tech cutscene. About a half an hour of it was me running around. I had to find all my friends that I got max confidants to, and they all give me an item, and those items transfer over into a new game plus. That's a Persona staple. But yeah, most of that hour and a half was watching a cutscene. The screen dims from inactivity. I had to touch my joystick to bump it to brighten it again.
Wow.
A few times.
Wow.
Okay, so I can say yes, I finished Royal. I was actually I did the boss one night, just got handed to me. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try one more time. If I fail it again, I'm gonna bump it down to easy because I was playing in the normal mode.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to beat it in that normal mode, and that fight itself was almost an hour as well. It was not a short fight. So, so my total play time for Persona 5 Royal is 125 hours. And if I relaunch that save state, it'll start a new game plus, where I think all my gold, all my items, or yen, and all my items, all my confidants are reset, but the guts, the knowledge, the courage, things like that, those will still be maxed. And like the key items I got from maxing those confidants, I get to keep just because they're worth. They don't do anything in the game. They just are key items to show that I did the thing. And the compendium of personas that I built up, that persists. So if I have enough money, I can say buy Izanagi no Okami and just wreck house. But so yeah, so that was a fun play. Yeah, it took me almost 5 weeks total to beat that, doing about 20 to 25 hours a week. Okay,
That's a full-time job. That's a part-time job.
just about. Okay, then I played like tutorial section or the very opening bit of Persona 3 Portable and Persona 4 Golden. I did them in live streams back to back, back to back nights. So, Persona 3, I played about an hour 45. So, again, most of it was story, with the back 20 minutes or so being I explored the first level of Tartarus, or that game's dungeon. So, yeah, and then Persona 4 Golden is even worse. There wasn't any exploring. Part of the tutorial is to basically go up again and beat a boss to save Yusuke and have him awaken to his persona. So at this point, you have a team of 2 in your party. That was like 2 hours 15 minutes.
Wow.
So again, yeah, Persona games start slow. So if you have never played one, be prepared for that. But once it does get going, it gets going. It gets good. But yeah, you get the popcorn.
That's funny.
Yeah,
I got to watch you play this start of Persona 3 Portable.
Yeah.
So that was fun to see that, and
your
also
reaction to the evokers.
Yeah, that was like, oh, I heard about that, but like, okay. Very interesting.
I wonder if Atlas got some negative comments towards that, and that's why with 4 they summon the persona with just by crushing a tarot card instead of pretending to shoot themselves in the head.
Right. Yes, which is crazy. So, but yeah, those are games I look at and it's like, oh, I want to try those, but I know I probably won't finish them, so I don't. So I don't play them.
I did put a little bit more time into Persona 3 since doing the stream, but I'm still early on. I'm still in April. But that one you get a boss every full moon, So I
Right.
think I'm like 2 weeks, still 2 weeks away from the next full moon, and I haven't touched Persona 4 since the my stream. But my son, get I ended at the Yusuke fight, and he was about at the same place from playing it earlier in the day. And then yesterday and today, he's put 25 hours in or so, but he's skipped all the cutscenes and kind of doing everything as fast as he can. He's already in like the second to last dungeon. He's like in October in the game already. I'm
Wow.
like, aren't people normally at 50 or 60 hours at this point? And he got there in 20.
Well, it's skipping all the cutscenes that helps, I'm sure, especially if
Yeah,
their cutscenes are like an hour long.
yeah,
I know not
yeah.
that long, but
And,
if they're
just like he's played Persona 4 multiple times before, so he knows the story. He's watched the anime before, so again,
yeah, he's
both
seen
three,
it all
4, and 5 have animes. Persona 3 is actually in 3 movies.
okay.
They weren't in TV shows. Persona 4 has a 24 episode season that covers the main game, vanilla, and then like a 12 episode season 2 that is that covers the golden content and pretty much
Okay.
fast forwards through this the stuff that was in common. So it's really focusing on the new stuff. So it
Mm.
kind of works as a new game plus. And if you watch like the first episode of season 1 and the first episode of Golden, the the scene where you get introduced to your class with your teacher Moro Oka play out completely different. It's hilarious.
Mm.
And then Persona 5 has a 24 episode season that gets you up to October in the game, and then there are 3 OVAs after that that finishes the story.
That's
Then
cool.
after playing the games, I'm wanting to watch all those animes again. I just don't have the time for that.
Right.
But I
Yeah.
do have I have access to them all. I just need
I
to have
think
time to sit down and watch them.
I think also too because of I had Persona 4 Golden on my PS Vita and didn't finish it there is the reason why I'm afraid to go and try it again because I don't think I'll finish them, especially with all the other games I'm playing. So I'm still trying to finish Engage, and that's hard now with Metroid Prime and Remastered out now and all that kind of stuff. And all these other games I'm about to talk about, such as the Pathless. I'm very interested in. I got to play that. I did a first look of that, which is on our channel. It is an open world game where you are a archer and a falconer, essentially, and you're helping this land rid itself of its darkness, which it is, I think, was very heavily influenced by Breath of the Wild. So, but I think all of the main parts of Breath of the Wild, because I haven't seen any side quests in this game, so it's very straightforward. It's only about 12-hour, I think, on average game to beat, if I remember correctly from how long to beat. So it could be beaten in a weekend.
Yeah.
It has some great mechanics with using the archery, being able to run and slide and shoot, as well as using the Falcon. I haven't gotten much experience with the Falcon yet. I just got it when I was doing the first look, but it's a game I want to go back to because, like I said, it's got a lot of the good elements, like the Breath of the Wild, where you had to go get all the divine beasts to help you beat Ganon at the end. It's kind of the same with this game. You have to go unlock these gods on this island that the God Slayer beat or put in darkness. You got to go help release them from the darkness, and there's about 4 or 5 of them. Then once you release them, then you go after the God Slayer. So again, I'm very interested in playing that some more. Again, that was the Pathless on the Nintendo Switch. Next, more Fire Emblem Engage. I got to do a couple of the paralogs. I didn't touch the Divine Paralog yet, which is, I think, part of the pass, the expansion pass, or whatever they're calling it. Because I was going to actually do a stream of that. Because Nintendo provided us the code for that. So that's why I want to make sure I give it its due. So I'll probably do a stream of the Fire Emblem Engage Divine prologue, the first part of that, just to kind of give everybody an idea what that's about. I also played the Sea of Stars demo, which after playing just the first few minutes of it, I was already sold on it. I kind of already sold on it just from the video trailers we've been watching and seeing, right? But yes, getting the demo, playing that, I'm already sold. I like how it plays, like how it looks, and it's if you have the time, go play the demo. It's there. Go check it out. It does drop you into the middle of the game, so it's not going to be something you can carry over to the actual game when it comes out. Maybe you'll get something from it. I don't know. They didn't say anything about that, but it's not a carryover save. It's just go check it out.
That's something I still want to do. I probably will do this weekend.
Yes. And I think it'll be a long enough break between you playing the demo and when the game actually comes out in August, if I remember correctly, that it won't matter. Although it will matter, because if you really like the game and you want to play it now, you won't be able to until August. So, and then finally, of course, I played Metroid Prime Remastered, which I also did a Let's Play video, which is out there, where you can see me being very excited about me starting to play that, because it is a Let's Play, but it's also my first look of it on the Switch. So even though, like Marty, I beat it when it was out before, I beat it on the GameCube, and played it again when it came out on the trilogy, all the different variations of it, I suppose. So love that game. So happy it's out there. Metroid Prime Remastered is like Marty said, it is a chef's kiss. I mean, they gave so much love and attention to this game to make it on par with games out there today that it deserves. And even if you go back to the GameCube or even the Wii U trilogy, or the Wii trilogy version, the game looked great at that time. And when you go to look at the side by sides, of course, when you compare the side by sides, it does look worse at that time. But at the time, it was something that was something that was great looking. So, and in this game, again, I think they did a really good job. All the teams, whoever Retro and whoever else they hired to do it, did a great job in remastering it. The graphics, the mechanics, the controls, the music was tweaked as well and remastered. So, loving what I'm listening to. In fact, I think you can unlock, not I think, but I saw you can go in there and you can see, like, I think in the old game you were able to do this. You can do this again in this game, where you can go back and look at artwork, concept art from both the old version and now even the remastered. They have some concept art in there too that you can unlock. And then they have the sounds, the songs. You can unlock certain tracks and listen to them within the menu. So it's fantastic. And if you are a first-person shooter type game lover, you owe it to yourself, if you haven't played this, to go check it out and see what all the hype is about. I'm not going to guarantee you'll like it, because everybody's got their own taste. But at least if you're a FPS player, please give this a try. So and by the way, they are selling the physical version on February 22nd of Metroid Prime Remastered. So you can, at least if you're not wanting to pick it up digitally, you can go pick it up at GameStop at that time, try it out. And then if you don't like it, you can take it back or sell it back, or do whatever. So that's what I've been playing, and I will move on to the community spotlight. So So yeah, those of you who are watching, yeah, Marty had to drop because again, he is out. He's not at home. He's not at his usual location. He's at an undisclosed location, as he mentioned at the top of the show, and he had to leave because of that. So good night, Marty, and we'll continue on and we'll finish off the show. Real quick, we'll go over the community spotlight, which is, of course, we're spotlighting our family of podcasts. Don't forget that if you are interested in any other types of topics, we have other shows that you can listen to on our family of podcasts. We have Game Pass News, which covers a lot of Xbox stuff. That's run by Sean and Nick over there. So give them a look. Their shows drop every Saturday. Again, they're Game Pass News. So look them up on your podcast feed. We also have Dad's After Dark show. That is the show you listen to after you put the kids to bed and your wife is distracted, or your spouse, significant other, whoever is distracted, and you go and listen to John and Drew because they talk about video games and dad stuff that we normally can't talk about, even though Justin tries to get us to, and he gets edited every now and then.
Before you move on, I just saw a tweet that I had to talk about. Someone says next year Wind Waker HD will be as old as the Wind Waker was when HD was released.
That is a great point. Next up, we have Retro Logic shows. They also have a family of shows, but they cover a lot of retro topics, especially Retro Logic, where it's Dan, John, and Sam. They cover a lot of their retro gaming and retro gaming collecting topics. On Topic Retro covers a lot of in-depth discussions on one specific retro game and has a guest every now and then. Retro Groove talks about some of the music from all generations and types. That's Adam and Liam. They discuss that. And then there's Film Logic, where Mike and Eston talk about film topics and the latest stuff they've been watching. And then every now and then I pop in and talk about it with them too. So find out more about each of these and others. You can check out the Retro Logic shows at retrologic.games, or you can go to nintendodads.org and see all of the family of shows there, where we have Spotify links to them there, or at least you can get the titles and download them to your own podcasting feed. With that, we've got one more comment from the community that we'll go over real quick here, because we read a lot of the community stuff earlier when we were talking about the Direct. The last one we have here is, so I was listening to the podcast on the morning commute today, and someone said that there was no Star Fox game released for the Switch. Does Starlink not count? I know it had its own story, and all but exclusive to the Switch was a Star Fox storyline that was pretty awesome. I would have loved to have seen a full Star Fox game made that way. It had space combat, planet, and solar system exploration, RPG-like components. What say you guys? Does the Star Fox component of Starlink count as a released game for the Switch? And I think Hoots also responded to that question, and he said, does Mario and Rabbids count as a Mario game? So, and he said also it reminded him that Star Fox 2 is on NSO. That was also released. So
yeah, I did forget about Star Fox 2.
Yep. So we do have a few Star Fox games, and I would include that. For me personally, I would include the Starlink game as a Star Fox game. And I would include the Mario and Rabbids game as a Mario game. It's just a different take. It's not, I wouldn't call it mainline games, but I would call it they're part of that. They're part of that universe.
To talk about the Rabbids, I'd say Mario and Rabbids, the first one is a Mario game with Rabbids in it, but the second one seems like it's a Rabbid game with Mario in it.
Okay.
And I can't speak for Starlink because I didn't play it. I played the original Star Fox on the Super Nintendo, just like a level or two. Just I never followed the story or played long enough to get to an ending.
Yeah,
but that's my limited history with Star Fox. So
yeah, I agree though with 16-bit Nomad that it would be cool if Ubisoft, who created Starlink, built a Star Fox game for Nintendo based on the Starlink universe, or what they did with Starlink there with Star Fox and Starlink. I think they could do that, and it would be a really good game using all those same elements that you brought up there. So I agree with that for sure. So, but that is our last question of the community. And so that means that's the end of the show. Jesse, do you have anything to say before we close out? Anything left?
I don't think so. I'm glad that we're trying to start earlier so we can go to bed earlier.
Yes, as a reminder, good point, Jesse. As a reminder, some of you may not have caught it or wondering why you might have missed a good hour of the show or something, but we actually here are starting an hour early. Not necessarily live streaming it yet an hour early, but we're all trying to get on an hour earlier, because most of the time what happens is somebody is going to show up late. Like to me, I showed up late today. So about 10 minutes before we went live, because these guys were all on talking. In fact, Justin was on a little bit in pre-show talking about stuff. So, but we try to get started around 9:30 Eastern now. But again, that's the goal. But that means that we're actually probably starting around 9:45, 10 o'clock, which is the time we actually were supposed to be starting before we moved it. So
where we would normally start it.
Where we normally are supposed to start it, but exactly. Yeah. So we're trying to start earlier so we can get done earlier, and that way things can get wrapped up and sent out. But it helps Marty, especially when he's podcasting from his office. Even though he's close to home, he's away from home, unlike some of us who are podcasting from our home. So it helps him to be able to get back to his family and stuff like that at a decent time. Helps us get done and wrap things up and be ready for work Friday morning. So that's why we're starting the show an hour early. So remember, we start the show at the bottom of the hour at 9:30 Eastern, but adjust according to your time zone, of course. All right. With that, we'll say thanks to everybody who subscribed to us. 6,653 of views on the YouTubes and Twitch. Thanks for the 1,399 followers. Come on, we just need one more follower. We can be at 1,400. And thank you to our 24 Twitch subscribers who will also get access to our Discord community and activities. We seem to kind of hover between the 19 to 25 Twitch subscribers. It kind of flows around there. So, but you just remember that whether you are a subscriber on Twitch or a subscriber on Patreon, you get access to more goodies like the Discord community and activities, such as the dinner table or the breakfast table. Come in and hang out with us, or be part of the community of content creators where you get a free game code. Or if you are a Patreon, you get a free ad-free version of the show where you don't get to hear us talk about Manscaped, because you don't want to hear us talking about Manscaped. So, but anyways, speaking of Manscaped, you get 20% off Manscaped orders with free shipping with the code NINDADS. Check out our merch store at nintendodads.org/merch. And in fact, while you're there at nintendodads.org, check out all of our other content via YouTube, the tweets, the podcasts. You can see some of our other pages there, and also links to our shop and merch. Huge thanks to our Patreon producers, Dave Ernsberger, RJ Kern, and Jacqueline Amira. You can find us in most places like Patreon, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube by typing Nintendo Dads. In fact, just Google Nintendo Dads, see what comes up, and maybe there's things out there we don't even know about. Email us at nintendodads@gmail.com or call in and leave a voicemail at 929-25-NDADS or 929-256-3237. Big thanks to OC Remix for the music throughout the show. And don't forget to download our podcast to your favorite podcast feed. And if they have rating systems, please rate us 5 stars. Anything less can go to, I don't know, Mega Dads, like we always say, right? They always appreciate a good rating. So anyways, this is Tim saying see you later from all of us here at Nintendo Dads HQ. Good night.
Thank you for listening to Nintendo Dads.
Maple syrup mousse.